Hey guys, today I'm going to be telling you why you should be lifting weights for weight loss, exactly how you should be doing it, and how to work it into your weekly training plan. Alright guys, so this is how we're going to do this. We're going to go through the pros of why you should be lifting weights for weight loss, but we're also going to go through some of the cons, and within those we're going to go through how you should be structuring your training and how you should be putting it into your weekly routine. So there's actually quite a number of reasons why you should be lifting weights for weight loss. I'm just going to go through three of what I think are three of the best reasons to be doing them. So the first one up there is to preserve or even increase your muscle mass. So if you're trying to lose weight, I assume that you're dieting in some sort of way. You've got some sort of reduced calorie diet. And the problem is if we're not lifting weights, and we're losing weight, we can be losing weight that's both muscle mass as well as body fat. Whereas if we're lifting weights, we're going to preserve a lot of that lean muscle mass. So the weight that we're losing is purely going to be body fat. And I assume that most of you that are trying to lose weight, it's to look better. And normally when I talk to people in the gym, it's because they want this toned look, which to me means they want to have a bit of shape about them. So a great reason to be lifting weights to keep that muscle mass or even increase it so that you've got more shape and more of a toned look to how you look. All right, the second one is called Epoch. Now, Epoch stands for exercise post-oxygen consumption, and it's how we measure what your metabolism's doing after exercise. And in layman's terms, we normally just call it the afterburn effect. So the higher your Epoch after training, the more calories you're burning just when you're sitting, standing, doing absolutely nothing, sleeping even. And what they've found that is if you lift weights in the right way, your Epoch can be raised for 16 hours or more after training. Now, that doesn't mean that you just do a couple of bicep curls and all of a sudden your Epoch is raised for 16 hours after exercise. You've got to do it in the right sort of way. So normally with these studies, they're doing compound lifts. Compound lifts are big multi-joint exercises. So it's normally when you're pushing weight away from you, pulling it towards you, doing big squats, lunges, deadlifts, not sitting on a machine doing little leg extensions or some bicep curls. The bigger the movement, the more compound it is. And they're normally using heavy weights. So they're doing 10 to 15 reps, but they're normally failing within the 10 to 15 reps. So it doesn't mean you just grab a weight and as long as you do 10 to 15 reps, you're good. It's got to be a weight that's heavy enough that you are struggling to get to that 15 reps. In fact, you might not even be getting there. You're getting to 13, you're getting to 14, you're trying for that 15th rep. You can't get it out. That's perfect, all right? And they're doing it in a circuit style. So that means no rest. You're going straight from one to the next. So you normally have to make sure that the lifts that you choose are working different muscle groups. So you're not just going straight from bench press into push-ups, which is using exactly the same muscle groups, right? So you want to go from a push to a pull to a legs, and you're shooting through those three exercises as quickly as possible, one to the next. And normally the circuit style training will go for around 30 minutes or more. That's what you're looking for, okay? So it might not mean you just do one circuit non-stop for 30 minutes, although you can do that, but you might do one circuit that goes for around 10 minutes. You do another circuit that brings you up to 20, and then you do a third circuit that brings you up to that 30-minute mark. And check out some of my other videos. I've got ways of doing those circuits. The last one, and this one takes a little bit of time. That's why I've made it the third one to bring up, but you can increase your basal metabolic rate. Now that's just how many calories you're burning just when you're standing, sitting, lying, sleeping. And the more muscle mass you have, the higher your basal metabolic rate is going to be, which just makes it easier to burn calories throughout the day. Even when you're exercising, you'll be burning more calories if you've got more muscle mass. So if you ever know those people that just tend to be able to eat whatever they want and they never seem to put on weight, they've got a high basal metabolic rate, and you can be that person as well. You just need to get on board, start lifting weights, get the lean body mass up, and that'll be you in no time, all right? Now, there's some cons to lifting weights as well. And one of the biggest ones is you need recovery. I mean, if you're doing compound lifts heavy in a circuit style for 30 minutes or more, your body is going to need recovery. You can't just do it every single day. You can do it every other day though. So the way that I would structure my training throughout the week would be that I'm doing weights around 3 times a week. So here I've put it down for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now on those other days, we should be doing some sort of cardio. Now that could be structured cardio in the gym. Maybe you're doing some interval training or something like that. But maybe you hate cardio in the gym. That's fine. As long as you are doing something active on these days. So you're riding the push bike to work. You're heading down the park with the kids and kicking the footy round. You're doing something. It's not just the weights 3 times a week, because the people that get the best results are the ones that are active every single day. All right, so make it part of your lifestyle. Now, the second thing is injury, and this is inherent to any sort of exercise really. But when we start doing big compound lifts and we're doing them heavy, it kind of increases the chance that we could do an injury. Now, you just need to choose your exercises wisely. For instance, if you were to maybe you look at somebody's program, or you look on YouTube and you see someone that's doing this awesome weight loss program, they might be doing something like a barbell snatch or something like that, which is a pretty high level compound move. And the thing is that exercise there, if you're doing it with other ones, it's going to have a huge increase on your exercise post oxygen consumption. It's going to burn lots of calories at the time, but there's also a higher chance of injury. Now, something like a seated chest press, it's also a compound lift that we can do heavy in a circuit style training routine. It's going to have less of an increase in our Epoch. It's going to burn less calories while we're doing it, but it's going to have a lower chance of injury. So this might be where you're starting. You know, you might start with these types of exercises that are still going to have great benefits with your training. Not quite as much as these ones here, but you just got to work it smart. You start with the exercises that have got a lower chance of injury, and you build your way up to doing these higher, more complex movements, which are going to have even greater effect on your training. You've just got to do it in the right sort of way. Now, guys, I'm going to be going through exactly what sort of exercises, if you're a beginner, what you can be doing with your strength training in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that one. In the meantime, any questions, comments about this stuff, just chuck them below. And good luck with your training. I'll see you in the gym soon. Now guys, if you like this video, if you want to see more like it, then check out my Facebook page or check out my YouTube channel, because I upload videos like these all the time. And if there's a topic that you'd like me to do in the future, don't be afraid to put it in the comments section and I'll get onto it as soon as I can. Alright guys, good luck with your training. I'll see you in the gym soon.